Namaste. What is the correct time of birth? When the baby exits the womb, whether that is the correct time, or when the cord is cut, whether that is the correct time of birth? It's a very, very basic question. And the answer is very important because the answer will define whether your birth time, which you have currently, is right or wrong. If it is wrong, then your birth chart entirely is wrong. And that is why, maybe that is why you are not able to find answers through astrology. So, in this podcast, I have talked briefly about the birth time. What is the correct birth time? So, let's begin with this podcast. When does life truly begin? It is necessary to understand the right birth time in astrology. One of the most overlooked yet deeply significant questions in astrology is, what is the true moment of birth? When the baby exits the womb or when the cord is cut? And so, to answer this, we must go beyond what is seen and heard and enter the subtle realm of energy, prāṇa, and karma. Always remember, it is the breath that awakens karma. Birth, in the highest spiritual sense, is not merely the physical act of delivery. It is the sacred moment when the soul begins its independent journey, when the baby inhales for the first time, when the first cry echoes through the cosmos. That first breath is not ordinary, it is divine. It is the moment when prāṇa, life force, enters the body directly. Not through the mother anymore, but independently. And with that sacred breath, the karmic engine is activated. The planets, the Lagna, the Nakshatras all begin casting their influence from that very second. This is your true birth moment. In many hospitals, however, the recorded birth time is often the time when the umbilical cord is cut. Not when the baby cried or breathed first, but from the perspective of energy and karma, this time is incorrect. So, my fellows, if your birth time was captured when the cord was cut, then that is a totally wrong birth time, and definitely because of that wrong birth time you have a wrong birth horoscope which you have been holding and carrying along for your whole life, and therefore you never got to know anything specific through astrology because you have been living with wrong birth time, and because of wrong birth time, a totally, utterly wrong horoscope. Cutting the cord is a mechanical procedure, often delayed or variable depending on the circumstances. But karma doesn't wait for scissors, my fellows. Karma doesn't wait for scissors. The moment the baby breathes in, the soul claims the body, and time begins ticking on this new karmic journey. And so, if your birth time was recorded at the moment the umbilical cord was cut, then your entire horoscope might be off by several minutes, and even a few minutes can shift the ascendant, Navamsha, or even the moon's nakshatra, thereby altering the entire trajectory of interpretation. Most people are unaware of how their birth time was recorded. And to be very honest, let me tell you all, even I am unaware. Because I was just arriving out of the womb and I don't know whether the time that was noted was when I took the first breath or when the cord was cut. And the same case may be with you as well. Because even you don't know when you were coming out of that birth canal. And so, here is the solution, my friends. If you are unsure, it's always wise to rewind your recorded birth time by at least 5 to 10 minutes when preparing your horoscope. So for example, if my birth time is 12:34, then the actual birth time may be 12:24 or maybe somewhere between 12:24 to 12:30. This small adjustment often aligns the chart more closely with actual life events, personality traits, dasha patterns, and soul tendencies. Many horoscopes start revealing their real magic only after this rectification is applied. And therefore, I have seen that it happens with many astrologers that they see a wrong horoscope. And so how can you blame them when you are coming with totally wrong horoscope, an horoscope that was made based on the wrong birth time? However, if you are 100% certain that the birth time was recorded exactly when you came out of the birth canal, took your first breath, and let out that first divine cry, then there is no need to adjust your birth time. In such cases, the recorded time already reflects the soul's moment of arrival, the sacred second when karma begins. And so maybe this valuable information will be very, very useful for young couples who are yet to give birth to a child. Because you can now record the right birth time, because you know now, after listening to this podcast, that the actual birth time should be recorded when the baby is out of the womb and takes his or her first breath, first cry, and not when the cord is cut. And so again I repeat, for the larger interest of all my close followers, that the true birth time is when the baby takes the first breath and first cry you hear. The cord cutting time is irrelevant for astrology. If you are uncertain, meaning if you don't know if your birth time was taken when you came out of the womb or when the cord was cut, then simply rewind 5 to 10 minutes from your recorded birth time for better accuracy. If you are absolutely sure that the first cry time was recorded as your birth time, then use it as it is. Remember, the breath is sacred. The first cry is the soul's announcement. The star begins to sing only when the soul enters fully, and that happens through that first breath and not through the Caesars. And so remember, a chart cast on the wrong birth time is like a map drawn for the wrong city. It may look detailed, it may seem logical, but it will not take you where your soul is destined to go. So if your chart never resonated with your reality, if predictions never felt aligned, if your spiritual journey felt scattered or unclear, the root might lie not in the stars themselves, but in the exact birth moment you captured them. Correcting your birth time is not just an act of technical precision, it is an act of sacred responsibility. It is choosing to align with the soul's first whisper, the exact moment it said to this world, "Here I am." Because when the right time is known, the right light shines through. And when the right light shines, the right path appears. And so, my fellows, may you all find your true beginning, and may the stars guide you with perfect clarity. And if you are unsure of your exact birth time, you are always welcome to undergo a birth time rectification session under my personal guidance. Of course, I am very selective when it comes to consultation, because I want to consult only those who are good-hearted, who can understand the language of heart. And so, all the good-hearted souls listening to this podcast are welcome. I can help you with it, and so we can uncover the precise birth moment your soul chose to begin this wonderful journey called life. Jai Sri Ganesha, Jai Guru.
ॐ गं गणपतये नमः। ॐ गं गणपतये नमः। ॐ गं गणपतये नमः।